What kind of linkages can be built between your engagement study and your exit interviews? You mentioned having some common questions. I'd love to know the utility of that and other best practices.
Well, one of the things that is fascinating is to look at, uh, uh, even without the exit survey, just looking at the people who left the company, and then if you've collected engagement survey data and even onboarding, over time, look at their overall engagement trends and see how they change. So did something happen, between year 3 and year 4, and then they left in the middle of year 4, so you can look at the things that are driving it. So that part is really, it's a little challenging. You have to have, decent data skills to be able to build the data set so that you can look at it within person and longitudinally. But I think that's really interesting. And then connecting that further to the exit survey reasons, and then seeing how those reasons and those macro categories connect back to what that person said in their earlier surveys. And obviously another thing that you should be doing is not just looking at survey responses, but looking at demographics. Are things the same for women as for men? One of the things that we found is that this probably isn't surprising, but females are much more likely to pick that personal reasons category than men are. If someone's going to stay home with the kids, it's more, or elder care, it's more likely to be the female than the male in those. So your interventions for these things may end up uh, being different depending on the gender or the function. We found that we lost a lot of statisticians at Eli Lilly, and the reasons that they left were not the same as the reason that sales reps left. So uh, while I would avoid the complete fishing expedition where you try to just get a giant database and hope something comes out, uh, you know being thoughtful and thinking through all of the things that might be related to propensity to turn over or when people turn over is always, I think, a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's so easy to forget that what we're doing here is at the core of it research, and hypothesis generation is so important to actually make sure you get something out of it rather than that spaghetti at the wall mentioned, everything that you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. If the main thing to take away is like think like a scientist. That's really the key to all of this stuff, is like have an idea of like what's the mechanism of action. Why do people leave, and when did they decide to leave, and what were the reasons? But really be thoughtful about the what you're building. That will help you immensely in deciding what analysis to do and then how to present the data.